Welcome back, everybody, to a new episode of Let's Play Anarchy Online. This is episode 8, I believe. So in the first few episodes, we have gone through the newbie area, which is a Wraith Landing. We forged some identity documents. We have joined the clans, and we're about to step out into the wild new world. There's just one thing. I was looking some things up. And there's one thing that came to mind, which is earlier we were talking about, oh, should we go ranged energy or rifle mastery? But one thing I just noticed is that if you look at these perks, the ones that give us ranged energy, agents can only get up to 5. And after that, it's only soldiers, engineers, or doctors. So that's yet another argument, I think, in favor of just sticking to rifles. Anyways, I just wanted to clear that up. Another thing that I did is I actually went on another character and found one of those. Remember, we were fighting the aliens and hoping we would get a rifle. I didn't want to waste a lot of time just farming a rifle there, especially because we weren't getting any experience. But one of my other characters had one of those rifles, so I've mailed it over to this character. And, you know, I don't think that counts as, like, getting a lot of help from an alt. Like, it's not like I sent myself a lot of money. I think it's not going to alter the flow of gameplay, basically. So I hope you'll agree with me that was cool. So I should be getting that in the mail. So let's go and leave this. I was going to say leave this town, but actually we're just going from, like, the shuttle port. Oh, he wants me to use the access terminal. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. We're not leaving the town. We're actually going into the town. We were just in the sort of airport, basically. And so now we are in ICC. So ICC is kind of like a hub city. From here, it is easy to get to both clan territory and to Omni territory, and there's sort of everything you need is kind of pretty easily centrally located, as well as like easy access to all the early game dungeons. So so it's a convenient sort of base to set up your operations in. Okay, one of the first things we can do is as we step out here, there's a lady with a blue name. And if we talk to her, actually, normally she's like emoting like, help me, to give you a hint. And basically this NPC is telling you to go find a thief ran to the subway and stole her bag. So this dungeon here, this subway, is one of the first dungeons in the game. So basically in Anarchy Online, there is, whatever level you're at, there's basically always a dungeon that has stuff at your level. The first one is Subway, and it goes into level 25, which means once you're past that, you will not be allowed back in. Although you could stay in and continue leveling, but then if you leave at any time, you wouldn't be able to get back in. After that, there's one called the Temple of Three Winds, which, you know, goes into level 60. And so we found this lady's bag. And so if you're ever, like, don't know where to go, then there's pretty much always, like, a dungeon that you could be going to. And the dungeons often have some pretty good loot. Or at least every dungeon has a few special pieces of loot that are probably worth getting before you pass that level. So that's always good content to be doing. In addition, there are... So let's give this lady her bag. And we got a level, yay. So we're level 13 now. In addition, this is a fairly new introduction to the game. There are daily missions which you can get in your side, like in a faction city of your side, right? So we're going to go to Old Athens in a bit, and there are daily missions there, and one of the daily missions is like just a random daily mission, go to the woods, kill some rats or whatever. But one of the daily missions is always like a a daily mission in the dungeon for your level, and that mission will basically be kill a whole bunch of monsters in the dungeon, which spans the whole difficulty level of the dungeon. So if you're just starting, like right now we're level 13, we can go to the subway, but the end of the subway is like level level 25, so it's going to be tough for us. But so those missions also kind of guide you to the right places to go if you want to do content at your level. And also daily missions give you like a lot of experience and tokens, so they're good to do in general. Okay, I'm just talking to another lady here because she gives a little... She basically is explaining how to use the mail terminal, which you can use to send items to other people or to your alts or whatever. And she is... And we're going to get a very useful quest reward from her, so that's why I'm bothering to do it. So basically she has sent us mail. And we gotta just wait for the mail to get to us. I also sent myself mail, and it was a while ago, and it still hasn't gotten here, so that's why I went to talk to her, just to initiate that quest. We also have, finally, our bank. So the bank is just, it's your storage. So I'm gonna offload some of this. So we're not gonna use this. Oh, this we've got to deal with. We're never really going to use this. I mean, I guess I'll keep this around. This we don't need. This is random quest stuff. I don't know if I'm ever going to bother with this. I'm going to organize this in a much saner way later. So what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to put... So in Anarchy Online, you want to hold on to items that are useful to buff so that you can equip stuff. So here I have a tool that we made that buffs sense by 3. So I'm going to hang on to that. I sometimes like to hang on to things for nostalgic reasons, or like, maybe this looks good, so maybe one day I want to look like I'm wearing overalls. Who knows, right? Okay, and then here, this is like trade skill stuff that we might use later on. This, I might be able to, yeah, I can use this. This is remember there was a guy wearing the silly clothes who killed us to teach us about insurance terminals. He gave us this as a quest reward. It is a belt that gives us 3 slots, and we need to equip it because the quest reward for the mail lady over here is she's going to give us 3 NCUs, so we can equip it. All right, now nanos for other professions I'm going to hold on to so that when I finally unlock that ability as an agent, then I'll be able to just learn a whole bunch of them. Okay, this we're going to sell. This is what? I don't know if I would ever need to buff this, but I'll hang on. I guess I'll hang on to it just in case. Okay, so we've kind of cleaned up the inventory. Basically now we're waiting on the mail to show up. There are a few things that we should do. So, so when we get the weapon via mail, we're going to quickly find out that it requires bullets. So we're going to have to buy some bullets. You can buy them here, but we're going to go to a shop. You can buy them many places. I just want to show you here, there's a market terminal. This is like the auction house, if you will, but it's not an auction house. It's just like you post things at a price. It's certainly taking a while to load. Actually, I'm not going to talk about this now. There is a market, okay? So if you find a rare item or you want to sell stuff, there are trade channels that you can post it in, but generally speaking, you can also just sell it on the market. We'll talk about transportation later. Why don't we deliver this box that the guy told us to deliver? This should be in this building here. It says, leave with blue android, no one else. I'm pretty sure this is where we go. Probably just lag. Oh, I wasn't standing in the right place. Is there a blue android? Yes, there is. So I have a delivery. Whoops. Okay, we got commendations and tokens and yeah. Okay, so yeah, so those are, I mean, I won't get into that right now. But here, for example, ICC reward terminal. The currency in this shop is these tokens, right? And these are mostly like social and kind of special looks, but some utility. There's like, you know, utility stuff in here. So yeah, so that's, you know, we're not going to deal with that now. It's not important. Okay. Next on the tour, I would like to stop by this shop. There's a lot of things we need to learn about. Mission terminals we're going to talk about later. Okay, Fair Trade is a famous kind of shop in Anarchy Online. I mean, there are many fair trades all over the place. Shops are laid out a bit differently depending on what city they're in, but they almost always have this general area, a trade skill section, an implant section, and a nanos section. You know, you can find what you're looking for just by finding the right place. They almost always also have an implant clinic and a banking terminal. So there are a few things we're going to want to buy. One of the things we're going to want to buy is extra bags. There are cheaper bags and expensive bags, but they all have the same amount of storage space. So the only point in buying the expensive ones is if you have the money to spare, and if you want like the icon to help you differentiate, right, what's in each of them. But we're poor and we can't afford it, so we're gonna buy like 9 bags, because that's going to allow us to go adventuring for a while and not have to worry about filling up our inventory. It's going to allow us to pick everything up. So the thing is, we're really poor, so we're going to need to pick all the crap up to sell it in order to make enough money. Now you can, right, if you right click, it just opens the contents, but you can, here for example, you can, first of all, change, you know, bags. You can, does it list, does it put just icons? But you can also rename the bags and sort and do whatever. So you can manage your inventory like that. Oh, we were going to sell this because we don't need it anymore. Although it's no drop, I forget. Can I sell this? Probably not. Yeah, it's no drop, so I can't really sell it. I'm going to delete this. Okay. So we're going into the Nanos section. So here you have generic or general nanos that every profession can cast, and these are like some of the buffs and whatnot. So let's see, for example, composite. See all these composite buffs? Composite ranged expertise 100,000, right? And here's another, like a composite nanos. Where's composite nanos? 100,000, right? So that's why we found that sword, because it basically just gave us 100,000, because we were going to buy this anyways, right? So that's why. Now each class has its own nano shop, and here you can find, why is it, oh, it's like in reverse, whatever. Here you can find like not all the nanos for your profession, but most of them. In some cities, excuse me just a second. Right. Sorry, just had to cough there. In some shops will be divided into different tiers, right? Sort of, there'd be like a basic store, a medium store, and an advanced store. And so the quality level, like the level of the nanos might be limited, right? So here projectile magnet is a level 73. That wouldn't be in a basic store. But in ICC, there's kind of more things are all put together. So if we had money, we could just buy all the nanos that we needed. But that's going to start costing us a lot of money fast. So we're going to have to be very careful about how we spend our money. So how else? Do I just have to like farm a bunch of money? Well, no. We can get nanos and many other things as rewards from missions. And we're going to get into that in a little bit. But maybe not this episode, maybe next episode. But just so you know, you can get nanos that you need by rolling missions, basically. Now, there's some nanos that you cannot find here. Some of them are found only in the Shadowlands. But as a general rule, pretty much the main nanos you'll need to do your job are going to be found here. Now, you can find all the nanos for your profession on one of the database sites, right? So, for example, AO items, there's like a toolbar at the top, and it will list all the nanos that the agent can use. And that's good because it tells you, for example, like you'll see that, will be a good example. Okay, so we have a root nano here, right? It's called Detained Suspect. Now, there are many, there's a line of nanos, right? So there's a better route that takes more nano skills, right? So the next one is called, for example, Lesser Hold Victim. So I'm reading this from the website, which I have open on another screen, but let's take a look at it here so I can show it to you lesser, because I'm too lazy to set up my recording software to show the other windows, so we're just going to do it this way. F, it's going to be a cheap one. Oh, inject. JKL. Lesser Hold Victim. So let's compare this nano. So this nano takes 91 TS and PM, whereas ours only takes like 5, right? This one only lasts 17 seconds. This one lasts 34 seconds. And in general, you will need to have higher level nanos for them to successfully land against, mobs that you're fighting. So you want to regularly be updating your nanos to the latest version. Now, that doesn't mean you have to learn every level of a nano, especially for some professions. Like engineers have nanos to cast their pets, right? You don't need to get every level of a pet. You can skip 5 or 6 if you're going to increase in skill very quickly. So you can save a lot of money by not buying every single nano. So that's important to keep in mind. Now, that being said, I'm looking through here, and let's look at what kind of spells, nanos can we actually cast here. Oh, by the way, notice here the icon, we have new mail, so our mail is ready to be collected. Oh, no NCU, why is that? Arbiter's Blessing. I might be a noob, but I don't know what this is. Oh, somebody gave us an XP boost. I guess only an Arbiter. Only an ICC, Okay, we don't need utility, so I'm clearing up space in my NCU. Okay. Our nano skills. I haven't spent all my IP, but we're like roughly in the 80s range, right? So if I had roughly 80 in nano skills, I could cast a better dot. There's a better dot available, but the dots aren't doing a lot of damage, so I'm not too worried about it. We have roots and snares, not super useful, I'm not going to worry about it. We have buffs, great buffs for damage and rifle skill, but they take their requirements are too high. Like we can't do the damage. Let's see, here's one called Lesser Anatomy Lesson. I'm actually not sure if we can buy it here. Yeah, I don't think so. I think that is a nano that needs to be obtained elsewhere. Honestly, I forget. That's weird, because there is nano augmentation. which is in the same line. So why isn't there, is there minor nano augmentation? Let's see. So it was a purple one, right? Okay, so that can help us narrow it down. Minor and dodge. Break chains, total concentration. We have this one, by the way. That's weird. Let's go through some of these. Shadow Crown, postpone. So it's weird that that one is there. Anyways, maybe I'll... Well, and yeah, so some of these from the line are there. I'm honestly not sure. I mean, some of you, if you're familiar with Anarchy Online, will probably be like face palming and will know the answer. Anyways, no need to panic. Here you have a whole bunch of false profession nanos. So for example, we could become an enforcer at this level. And then, but here's the thing. If we had a lot of money, then we just buy all the enforcer nanos, but we don't have a lot of money, so that's not really worth it. Let's take a look at this just so you guys see what's going on here. If we become an enforcer using false profession, it lasts for 30 minutes. Things cost 50% more, right? And our nano skills are reduced by 25%. Now, that's for false profession. I don't know if in this store we have... Yeah, we have assume profession. So look at assume profession. This one, much later, we can cast this. It lasts 25 minutes, which is good. Like, shorter is good because you can't, like, undo it. You have to wait till it runs out. Until much later, where you have... the ability to turn it off. Oh, I said 100. I said the nano cost increased by 150%. That's wrong. It's increased by. Sorry. For false profession, I said it increases by 50, but it increased by 150. Here it increases by only 70, and reduces your. The skill penalty is less severe. It's only 15%, not 25%. And there's a final one called assume. Or is that assume? There's a third level, which is even better. So that raises the question of which class is going to be really useful for us to use in the early game. And there are a few good options. Let's look at our nano skills. One of the popular choices is, you notice that we have pretty high matter creation. Unfortunately, we have low time space. TS and MC are used in the pet classes to summon pets. So we could become an engineer and just have a pet fight with us. Another option would be a metaphysicist, because they have pets that can heal you. Although I say that, and I don't even know if you can use those healing pets as an agent, but you can find that out on the database site. So I'm gonna go look that up while I keep looking through this. Another option would be like a doctor, because then you can heal yourself. So that's actually a really very useful class to false profession into doctors for healing. Hang on here, I'm looking up the metaphysicist nano to see if the pets can be, let's see, pets, here we go, attack pets, yeah. So obviously the super high level pets, like the ones you get in the Shadowlands, cannot be used. But yeah, the healing pets can be used. So, but the lowest level healing pet, for example, takes 84 BM and TS. Right? So that's a bit rough. And remember, that's after the debuff. So we're going to need to have like 100 something. So soon, but not quite. Let's see. Metaphysicist. Also, just a false profession into metaphysicist isn't going to be for a while because it's 180. Another nice option might be fixer. Fixers have Heal over time and run speed buffs. So that's 121. Those are kind of the usual suspects. Also, Trader is also very useful because Trader allows you to... They have great nanos that drain skills and buff your skills tremendously. So that's going to help us to equip really high-level weapons. So that's something we're going to want to get eventually. So what this tells me is for now... I mean, soldiers... We could do soldiers. Soldiers have some damage buffs. Let's see if they have anything really useful at this level. I don't think so. I don't think at this low level we really need to worry too much about this. Doctor is going to be like, I'm trying to... Yeah, at this low level, and also with our limited resources, right? That's the other issue, right? Let's see. Assault rifle buffs. Burst, yeah. Let's see. Let's see if this nano is available. So I found a soldier buff called damage amplify. Actually, it was damage multiplier. Who knows? But yeah, this line, so, you know, they have these damage buffs. Yeah, but see, this only works when you do... It only buffs projectile or energy damage, right? So that might actually not work out as nicely. Yeah, I mean, they have ranged energy, mastery. So every class has a lot of different kinds of buffs. We're not going to spend... I've been kind of wandering around here for too long, so we're gonna put this on hold until we have slightly higher nano skills. But yeah, there's interesting stuff to look forward to later. For now, though, the main question I wanted to ask is, are there any nanos that we can afford that would be really useful to us for the next few levels? And honestly, not right now. Yep. I am not seeing anything as I go through the list that we can cast right now. Okay, so that's good because that means we don't have to spend money. I've been going on really for a long time and I didn't mean to. Before this episode is over, I want to show you the implant store. Here you will find a profession implant store. So these are divided by class, but you don't have to take that class's implants. So you can look at Oh. Why, thank you, sir. Oh. So this guy just he found an extra rifle. Actually, we're probably gonna find this rifle soon ourselves. This is a rifle that we find in the subway, but he has already found it and he's giving it to us. These weapons, you need, if I remember correctly, you need one of the expansions to use it. It's a very good weapon. We'll be able to use it soon. So that's great. Let's take a quick look at some of these agent implants. So, for example, in the chest slot, they give us Nanopool, SI, and BM. We have in the eye, we have Rifle, TS, PM, right? And here's the issue. These are all great, right? This is a quality to level 30. It takes 64 of a stat and some treatment. The treatment at this level is super easy to get. Do we have 64? Yeah, probably. And almost all of them we could get 64, right? Almost, right? So at this level, you should totally be able to put in level 30 implants. The problem is they're 11,000 credits each, which is like nothing, but for us it's a fortune, right? We only have 37,000. So we're gonna have to slowly but surely get some implants in. So we're gonna talk about implant selection in the next episode, and actually right before we end this episode, I'm gonna run across town to get my mail, and I think we'll end it there. Whoops, I went back into the nano section. Yeah, so our plan right now is we're going to go through the implants choices, and I'm going to do this not in-game, but there's a listing online. I think you can find it on the AO Universe website, which lists all of the sort of skills that are put into the default profession implants, and that way you can kind of shop around and see if there's a pre-made implant that satisfies your needs, right? So for example, I don't know, off the top of my head, I think the soldier leg is like the best leg for almost any profession for some reason, right? So I'm gonna choose sort of my high priority implants that I want to get, and once I have that list, then we'll start buying some of them, and then we'll go probably explore the subway a bit. But anyways, that's all for next episode. Let's see what we got in the mail. Oh, we got everything. So she gave us, we got this gift, so we're going to take all, and then I'm going to delete it. And then this is the rifle that I sent myself. We're going to take all and then delete it. Okay, so let's first of all end this quest. This is an important quest because she gives us some NCU. Oh, we can't equip it yet. We need 121 computer literacy. How close are we? Not close. I mean, we can buff by 20, but we're not close. So this is important because it will buff our NCU by a lot. So that's good. And we got our alien rifle. So just to compare, right? Our current rifle attacks at 1 and then does an average 25 damage. So 25 takes into account the attack speed, right? So an average of 25. This rifle... sorry, the parentheses in the average. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. This is when you crit, it adds this much. The DPS is your average with the time factored in, right? So this DPS is 5 to 18. This DPS is 3.5 to... Wow, that's not as big. Oh, because the attack speed, right. But this one isn't getting any faster. Sorry, so it sounds like what I'm saying is crazy. But this one is at 1 second. It's not going to get any faster, right? This one is at 2 seconds, but with our ranged in it and our ag def, we're going to bring this down. So this weapon actually does a lot more damage than the other one. Okay, that's enough for this episode. We're running a bit over time, so I'm going to call it here, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.